Gentlemen, it's okay to feel sad from time to time, to feel down and not quite know the reason why. Such is life. I've said this before, emotions are visitors, they come and go. No single emotion stays with you all the time. There will be moments of happiness in your life, which you will thoroughly enjoy and want to latch onto for as long as possible. But then happiness eventually departs, and perhaps sadness comes into your life for a short period of time. Allow the sadness to rush through your body. You know, one of the reasons why heartbreak songs really connect with us is because we connect with that emotion. It's almost like we relive that emotion again of heartbreak, of separation, when we listen to a heartbreak song. It's what makes us feel alive. You know, without those emotions, life wouldn't feel the same. So just because you feel upset or sad, it doesn't mean that there's something wrong. You're supposed to feel that way when something bad happens. You receive some upsetting news. It's a very normal human response to feel upset. You know, as guys, we're often told to drown out our emotions and not, connect with them. It's not about feeling sorry for yourself. I want to make this clear. What I'm not saying is for you to sit there and cause yourself prolonged grief by spending your time in the past. It's okay if you recall a memory of a time in your life that was, for example, with your ex. You know, if you relive that memory, if it visits you, and you're like, a pleasant memory, let's just say, it's okay to smile and, laugh. Perhaps maybe you're sat in your car and you're thinking about a time that you spent with her, and you laugh just for a couple of minutes, and then it's time to keep moving. All right, maybe you head into work or you meet your family after that. And the same applies for sadness. You know, you remember a loved one of yours, maybe one of your grandparents. You know, you can smell the house. You know, your grandma's baked some cookies and you can smell the house, and you remember embracing her, and you remember what she smelled like and how loving and caring she was. It's okay to drop a tear when you think about her. It's what makes you human. So don't drown out your emotions. Connect with them. Sadness is a visitor and happiness is a visitor. You know, they come and go. You are not supposed to stay in one single emotional state all the time. That is not what makes you human. That's not normal. You know, when people say, I just want to be happy, I don't think they quite understand what that means. I just want to be happy. I think what it is, contentment is probably a better goal than happiness. Contentment means, you know what, regardless of what happens, I know I'll be okay. I'll be okay. Nobody wants to feel upset all the time. Don't get me wrong. That's not. And if you're upset all the time, it's probably because you're causing yourself unnecessary grief. Maybe you're manufacturing scenarios in your mind that are causing you to feel upset. So there might be an issue there that you need to address. And this is where self-awareness comes in. You know, to know oneself is a very valuable skill. Most people don't know who they are. They don't know. And it's not some big mystery. If you just grab a pen and a journal and once a week you just talk to yourself through the pen and the paper, there's a spiritual connection. When you write something down on a piece of paper with your very fingers, seeing your handwriting printed on the piece of paper, there's a spiritual element to it. This is why, even when it comes to goal setting, a lot of people believe in writing your goals down with your own hands as opposed to typing it on your iPhone, right? Or your smartphone device. Write it down on a piece of paper. It's more meaningful that way. You know, when you receive a handwritten letter from somebody, even though it doesn't happen these days, people just, you know, text each other and stuff. And guys now send reels to their girlfriend as opposed to like random memes, as opposed to writing handwritten love letters, right? But if you ask any woman today, how would you feel if you received a handwritten love letter? Well, even a handwritten letter for that matter. It doesn't have to be a love letter. It's just, there's something sentimental about it. That's someone's unique handwriting. Just like how your fingerprint is unique to you, that letter is unique. Or that handwriting on that letter is you. It's not replicatable. It's your handwriting. So there's something a lot more meaningful to it. But get in touch with who you actually are. Once a week, sit down and just write down how you feel about how your life is going. Don't just write and talk about business goals to yourself, but, you know, how do you feel right now, man? How do you feel? Are you okay? Just, you know, pour your heart out on that piece of paper. Look, I used to be of the belief many, many years ago in my late teens, early 20s, when I heard of journaling and stuff, I thought it was some stuff that teenage girls do in their bedrooms when they're angry at their boyfriend, whatever. They write, "Dear Diary." That's what I used to think it was. But in reality, it's such a powerful tool that the top CEOs and high achievers in the world consistently engage in. And it helps you overcome hurdles and progress a whole lot faster in your life because you know who you are. You become a lot more dangerous when you know who you are. When you're waking up every single day, you don't know why you feel a certain way. And sometimes you won't have a good enough answer to that, by the way. You might go to write down on a piece of paper, you know, why you feel a certain way, but you might not be able to pinpoint exactly what it is. To that I say, that is a very normal human feeling. Occasionally you won't have answers, and that's okay. Sometimes it will stand out. Maybe something happened, an event took place. Maybe you're stressed about where your life is going. You just got fired from your job. You got rent coming up, all these bills. Your girlfriend's, you know, really frustrated at where you are and your position. And there's so many things that just from all angles are mounting up, and you're just so apprehensive and fearful and scared, and, you know. So sometimes it will stand out to you. Sometimes you won't know. And that's okay, by the way. Allow that emotion, as I said, to rush through your system. Let it do what it has to do. It will just rush through your system and then depart. And then maybe, you know, someone calls you, a good friend of yours, you have a chat for an hour, and afterwards you feel pretty good. You're like, "Oh, I feel good." Or maybe you start watching a comedy film, and, you know, it just cheers you up, and now you're no longer upset. So I just want to make this video because I don't want to use the phrase toxic masculinity, because I feel like it's misused in this space. But I think a lot of people have this idea that men are just robots with no emotions. No, you have emotions. Now, as I said, I don't want you to stay in a constant state of sadness and restlessness, because if you're constantly in that state, there's something that is a check engine light that you need to take a look at, that you need to inspect. Something is going wrong. Maybe your nutrition is shocking and it's affecting the way you feel, because, you know, the food that you eat has a profound impact on your body composition and consequently your mental state. So maybe it's your nutrition's all over the place. You're not leaving the house. You're not even doing 1,000 steps a day. You're not walking. You're just indoors, which then leads you to engage in bad habits, such as, for example, watching pornography, maybe drinking. It could be a sequence of poor habits that are compounding to make you constantly feel this way. So you need to figure that out ASAP. I encourage you guys to also reach out to your male friends, coaches, confidants, family members. And I say male specifically because men understand men better than women understand men, right? If there's a specific issue that's bothering you, maybe a relationship issue, whatever, speak to an uncle, speak to a coach. If you want to book a coaching call with me, I'll be happy to speak to you about that as well. But reach out, speak to people. It doesn't make you look weak. If anything, with this newfound information, you'll be able to serve somebody else in the future. You'll be able to help somebody else. You know what, man, I've been there. And it feels good to help somebody else as well. It makes you feel better about yourself when you're able to help somebody else. That the sweetness that you derive from that is unparalleled. It's honestly, it's an incredible feeling helping somebody go from here to here, from down and out and really just low self-esteem to back to their positive self and, optimistic and hopeful. And it's great to see that change in someone. The spark in their eyes is back. Posture changes. They're a different man. It's good. So do that. I can understand the skepticism behind some guys not wanting to talk to their girlfriend or their wife about certain things, in which case, keep those conversations to the men in your life that perhaps can relate with you a lot more. I'm not encouraging you to be a cold robot with your wife or your girlfriend, but just if you feel more comfortable speaking to a male confidant in that case, do that. Okay? Let's support each other, man. It's a shame when I look at the statistics of male suicides. It's really upsetting, man. It really is. Because I know a lot of them could have been prevented. Sadly, a lot of them could have been prevented if they would have just reached out. Somebody would have been really glad to help them. And this takes me on to my next point. If you feel like someone's not quite themselves, you reach out to them, check up on them. Hey, man, I've been noticing that something's not quite right with you recently, man. Are you all right? Is everything okay? Do you want to meet up for some coffee? You don't even have to say, I want to talk to you about your feelings. You can just be like, hey, do you want to grab a coffee? We'll catch up. Get that person out, talk to him. Sometimes just being there allows them to feel comfortable enough to talk to you. We need to do better as guys. We do in that regards. And be kind to every single person that you meet, man. There's a lot of guys out there fighting battles that you know nothing about. Extend some sympathy to people like that. Give people the benefit of the doubt. If you feel like, something doesn't quite look right with them, they look upset, their body language is off, you know what? Maybe they did something to wrong you. Something small, of course, just extend some grace. Be like, you know what? Hope everything's all right, You don't know what kind of battles people are fighting every single day. It's up to us as guys to do better. It really is. So hopefully this video, man, has, given you a different perspective on this matter. Some reassurance. Let me know what you think down below as well. Comment, share your thoughts. If you're new here, consider subscribing. And I wish you all, gentlemen, a very pleasant evening. Have a good one.